Hello and welcome to another match preview on Football Talk Podcast. My name's Ozzie and I'm your host for today's show. Another game for Liverpool in match week 25 as we face Luton Town at Anfield tomorrow evening. The first game in our double match week was against Brentford, where we were victorious and won the game 4-1. Now, the performance wasn't vintage Liverpool, but we got the job done and in professional style. However, the win was clouded by some unfortunate injuries as Curtis Jones, Diogo Jota and Darwin Núñez were added to the casualty list, which we'll talk about in more detail during the show. But let's analyse the opposition and see how they've performed in recent weeks. And to be fair, it's not been the best of runs for Luton Town. They've only won one game out of the last five, including 2 draws and 2 defeats. But they're currently 18th in the league on joint points with Everton. So Premier League survival is not out of the question, which I have to be honest is quite remarkable, as there was a point early in the season where no one could see where the points were going to come from for Luton Town. So they've managed to grab some important wins, especially at home, and that could be the deciding factor of their campaign. We also dropped points at Kenilworth Road early in the season. I have to be honest, that draw felt like a defeat. So it's time to redeem ourselves and get the win to maintain top spot. As I'm sure all of you guys will know, Man City managed to clinch the win over Brentford earlier this evening, but we're still ahead by 1 point and we're playing equal games now. So thank you to Chelsea for the draw over the weekend. So let's focus on this game now and present the team news. So we'll start with the home team, and that's Liverpool. As I mentioned at the top of the hour, quite a few casualties, unfortunately. Alisson is out with a hamstring injury. So he'll most likely miss this game, and strong possibility that he'll miss the cup final. Debate in terms of if he was going to start, as Kelleher normally starts Carabao Cup games, but regardless, he's not available for that fixture. Jota could be ruled out for the remainder of the season with a knee injury. Now that's a huge blow. At the stage we're hearing that it's a 2-month layoff, but Klopp or no one from the Liverpool camp have announced any sort of timing in terms of the extent of that injury, so we'll have to wait and see. Curtis Jones has a shin injury, so he's not fit to play in this game. Still unclear if he's available for the cup final this weekend, but I have to say it seems he might be doubtful for that one. Trent and Szoboszlai haven't trained with the squad, so it's very unlikely that they'll be available anytime soon. And in terms of Luton Town, their top scorer Adebayo is out with a hamstring injury alongside Anderson and Nakamba. So let's start with the predicted lineups. So we'll begin with Luton Town, who normally play a 3-4-2-1 formation. I'll adjust it once we've added the players in, as there's no no formation for this team in this website. So what we'll do, we'll fill in the players in terms of who I believe will start for Luton Town. So let's begin. So in goal, it will be Kaminski, who is their first choice keeper. So no who surprises there. And in terms of the back three, I'm expecting Bell to start in this game. If he's here, where is he? There we go. And then we've got Osho in the center defense. And we've got Mengi on the right side over back three. In the midfield, it's a tricky one. I think in terms of the middle of the park, it's quite safe to say it will be Ross Barkley, who's having a phenomenal season for Luton Town. He seems to be resurrected in the way he's playing more of a deeper role, but still effective in the game. So fair play to him. It was quite a bit of a surprise that he actually joined Luton Town from Nice, where he's at a more established club, club that's fighting for European football as well. But, you know, he wanted to come back to the Premier League, so fair play to him. Alongside him will be Congo, so he has had a good season as well, to be fair. So they formed a good partnership in the middle of the park. Now, on the left side, I remember Ogbene was playing the last time we faced, and we had Kabore on the right. Kabore has been out of favor, I would say, recently, and it's been Doty that has played on the left-hand side, and Ogbene has shifted over to right. So I'm expecting to see the same for this fixture. As I mentioned, Adebayo is out for this fixture. He's their top scorer. Recently scored a hat-trick against Brighton, I believe it was. So, yeah, he'll be solely missed in this fixture for Luton Town. So, up top, it'll be Morris, who's had a decent season himself and scored over the weekend against United. So, he will start there. And then, let's see, on the left, I'm going to give it to the guy that actually scored the equalising goal. Oh, sorry. Scored the opening goal. We scored the equalising on the last fixture, and that was Chong coming off the bench. But he'll play a bit more inside in that kind of role there. And this is a tricky one because it could be quite a number of players in this one. I'm actually going to go for Townsend. I know he hasn't started recently, but I feel like against Liverpool, it might be the sort of player you need where someone with huge experience. I remember him having a decent game against us as well at Kenilworth Road. So I feel like he could do damage in this game. Playing a bit more of an inside forward role, but then could also go out wide if required. Might even be able to form a 2 there. But normally this is the structure that they play. So it's I would say a strong lineup defensively because that is the way they're going to play. This is away from home, so they're going to play a low block. Do not be surprised if it becomes more of this sort of formation, a 5-2-2-1 sort of formation. That being said, because I think this is how they will set up tactically from a defensive point of view. They will have these 4 players occupying both sets of lines, but in a box shape. So that will try and block any sort of influence from our midfield, especially our midfield 3. So for me, that's how I see them being set up defensively. But yeah, on an attacking front, which will be quite minimal. I think they will be playing on the counter-attack more than anything else. So I'm expecting it to be more this whenever they're on the counter-attack. But defensively, this is I would say the standard shape that I'm expecting them to see. So more of a 5-2-2-1 formation. Drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think of that lineup there. Is it a lineup that we're concerned about because it seems like a very low block type of formation, and it is as expected as well. And we're missing a lot of our big guns in our first team lineup, which we'll discuss now. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments about the Luton lineup here. And what we'll do, we'll remove this graphic, and then I will present the formation for Liverpool. So this will be debatable amongst all of us Liverpool fans. I'm sure we won't have identical team selections here. Some of us may be thinking traditionally in terms of taking it one game at a time, not to look too far ahead in terms of the next fixture. I'll be honest, I'm looking at this fixture, but I'm also thinking who to rest so they're ready to play in the cup final on Sunday. So I do have one eye on the cup final this Sunday. So as I mentioned earlier on, Ellison is not available. He's got a hamstring injury. So it'll be Kelleher in goal, which is fine by me. No qualms in terms of having him in the team there. Back 4, this will be the debatable one. So Robertson has just started playing a few games. He's finding his rhythm slowly. But I might rest him in this one and take a risk on another player, maybe outside the box. I would actually start Tsimikas in this one. And you're probably thinking he's been out with such a, serious injury with a collarbone. Is he ready to play? He's been on the bench for a few weeks now, from what I know. So he hasn't really played much. He's come off the bench once or twice, and it's been very minimal minutes. But I feel like this is a game where we need the squad, and I wouldn't want to risk Robertson in this fixture. I feel like squad rotation is key in this one. So I'd actually play Tsimikas in this fixture. Some might say it's too soon. I think if he's fit and ready, it's worth putting him in there just so we can have Robertson available, fit and ready, and energetic for the cup final on Sunday. In the centre-back roles, I'm going to have Virgil van Dijk in this one still. I think experience will still be required in the fixture. And alongside him, instead of Konate, I'm actually going for Kwanzaa. I'd like to rest Konate for the League Cup final. So that's my reason for his selection. On the right-hand side, do we give Conor Bradley his second game in a row, or do we rest him and play Joe Gomez in this position? I'm actually going with Joe Gomez. I'd rather rest Conor Bradley for this one, so he's fresh and ready for that cup final as well. It's not that far away. It's a few days away, so it's not like they're going to have to wait a long time to get some game time. It's literally around the corner. So I'm going to go with Joe Gomez at right back. So yeah, this is my back four. I think it's quite strong, to be fair. It's not, it's obviously it's rotated, as you can tell, but I feel like we have enough quality to hold a good defensive line and try and get the win in this fixture. In the midfield, I'm sticking with Endo. To be fair, we don't have too many options for this midfield in terms of a DM role. Bajtic is still out with an injury. I've heard he's on the verge of returning to full training. You know, we've heard that so long over the last few months. I'm not too sure about his situation. Thiago, unfortunately, made a brief cameo and went off again. No sort of news in terms of the extent of his injury, which is why I didn't mention it earlier. It could possibly, that was his last performance for Liverpool, which is a shame, but it is what it is with regards to that. So in terms of the two number 8s, we don't have a huge number of selections there. So it's between Gravenberch, McAllister, Elliott, and if you want to shoehorn him as well, Gakpo in that midfield. You've got Bobby Clark as well. You've got McConnell, but I wouldn't want to play them in this game. I wouldn't mind them having them on the bench. We can use them further down in the game, use their energy, and try and use them for more of the press, so we don't concede any goals and keep that momentum for the remainder of the game. But I'm going to go with Gravenberch, who I thought had a good performance in the last fixture when he came on for Curtis Jones. So yeah, so against Brentford that was. So I feel like he'll be in good place to start in this game. And on the right side, I'm sticking McAllister. I still feel like we need to have some good quality in that middle of the park. I know Harvey Elliott does deserve a shout. He could play up, up top. I haven't revealed my front line right now, but I feel like he'll still be key. I probably wouldn't play in the full 90 minutes if I'm being honest. I'd probably play him for an hour and then take him off. And there'll be quite a few players. So the likes of Van Dijk, Endo, McAllister, I'd probably take them off and around the hour mark just to make sure they're rested, because they're going to be key in our team selection against Chelsea over the weekend. So this will be my midfield three. So it's still a very strong midfield three, in my opinion. Front three. So there's been a lot of reports regarding Salah in terms of he's possibly picked up an injury after that performance against Brentford. I haven't heard it in terms of British media. I haven't heard it from Liverpool. I haven't heard it from Klopp in terms of the press conference today. So for me, it would suggest that he's still available. So based on what we know right now, I'm going to go Salah starting this game. But I'd probably take him off as well. I wouldn't allow him to play the 90 minutes. Up top, so Darwin Núñez was taken off at half-time against Brentford for precaution reasons. So I'm not sure what the extent of the injury is. I know it's a muscle injury, but is he fit enough to play? I personally wouldn't risk him. I would rest him or have him on the bench for this fixture. So I'm going to give Gakpo a start in this game. And I feel like on the left, there's not many options. So it's going to be Luis Diaz. So this is my lineup for the team selection against Luton Town. As I mentioned earlier, in terms of how I think Luton Town will set up, I think they'll have sort of like a 2-2 kind of boxed midfield. Well, that's how it'll be from a defensive point of view. And having Gakpo might actually be key because then he ends up becoming the fourth man in the midfield, playing in a more of a false nine role. So I can see that happening quite a bit during the game. It won't be a sort of a stick kind of tactic. It'll just be deployed here and there, depending on the opposition in terms of how much space Gakpo has. So if we're being pushed up quite a bit, Gakpo can drop deep and try and get control of the ball and help the midfield, and allow Diaz and Salah to be inside forwards and try and help set up both of these attackers going forward. Then you've got Tsimikas and Gomez playing a bit more higher up, providing the width and the creativity from the flanks. So so this is my lineup against Luton Town. Drop a comment, let me know what you think. Is it a strong lineup? Do you think it's quite weak to get a victory over Luton Town? Because, respectively, they're not doing well in the league in terms of their position, but you can't underestimate them because they are a solid defensive unit. And this is an important game for our league campaign. Just because we've got a cup final down the road doesn't mean we take our eyes off the prize, as they say. So drop a comment, let me know. I still feel like this team has enough quality to get the win against Luton Town. And that's just my opinion there. Just going to go through some of the comments here. Dad says, big up Ozzie, hope you're well today. Kelleher, Bradley, Kwanzaa, Van Dijk, Robertson, Endo, McAllister, Ryan Gravenberch, Salah, Cody, and Diaz. So in comparison to my lineup, pretty identical other than the fullbacks. I knew that I was going to be a debate one amongst us fans. I've just gone for the notion that I'd rather rest Robertson and Bradley and have them fitting ready for the cup final. Midfield is pretty much what I've said as well, and up top I think exactly the same. So just the fullback positions are quite different to your comment there. But it's not a bad shot at all. I would just rather Robertson save his energy. He's finding his rhythm, but I don't want him to be overworked again and overused. Conor Bradley, despite having such a great performance against Brentford, I want him to kind of be selected. I would say he will be selected quite regularly, but I feel like this is the game where we can afford to rest him with one eye on the cup final going ahead. So that's just my view there. And he just commented saying Jamie's live soon. So I'll probably check Jamie's show after I've completed my show here, and any news on the injured ones. So in terms of the press conference today, Klopp hasn't really revealed the extent of the injuries that was suffered against Brentford. The Jota one, from what I've heard, is 2 months. It's not official, but that's what I've heard. So we're in 20th of February right now. It won't completely rule him out for this season. He might make 1 or 2 appearances, but it's a huge blow because that time will be around early May. So we've probably got about 2-3 weeks left of Premier League football. So he could have an impact on that. But obviously, when you're coming back from a knee injury like this, it takes you 2-3 weeks to get back into your rhythm, and you need a bit more game time as well to maintain that match fitness. So I don't know. I feel like it could possibly rule him out for the rest of the season. Curtis Jones, it's a shin injury. No certainty in terms of how long his layoff will be. It could be a week, could be a few weeks. At this stage, it's quite early doors right now. And then we have Alisson, hamstring injury. So that's 2 to 3 weeks, I believe. It's such a shame in terms of the timings. Trent and Szoboszlai haven't trained, so that's not helpful at this stage. But we've got a lot of injuries. I know Chelsea have a lot as well, so it won't be the strongest of both teams in that final. I just hope we have enough to go over the line and get the win. That's just my thinking right now. So fingers crossed. But obviously, this is the game we need to look forward to, one step at a time. And I'm hoping we get the victory against Luton Town. So that's my predicted lineup there for Liverpool. Drop a comment, let me know what you guys think. In terms of score prediction, I'm confident we'll get the win. I don't think we'll go all guns blazing and blitz this team at all. I think it will be a professional performance. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory for Liverpool. And I believe Mohamed Salah and Cody Gakpo will be the goal scorers. So that's my prediction there. If you're watching a replay, drop a comment and let me know who you think will score the goals and what your scoreline prediction is as well. And that's a wrap up for today, guys. So thank you to everyone for tuning in. Thank you to Daz for your comments as always. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Next show will be tomorrow. I believe the game starts at 7:30 UK time. So I should be able to come live as normal at 10 p.m. UK time for the match reaction. It's a calling show as well, guys. So if you'd like to come on and have your say, feel free to drop by. There will be a link pinned in the live chat for easy access. So yeah, hit that link. And yeah, I'll get you on during the show. And then on Thursday, I'll be doing a match preview of Liverpool versus Chelsea of the Carabao Cup final. I'll be joined by a guest for that show as well. So yeah, lots of content coming up, guys. Fingers crossed we get the win. It seems like an easy one on paper, but as you all know, guys, it's not as easy as it seems. Just got a final comment here from Daz, who's gone for a 2-1 prediction, and he's saying Salah, Nunes as the goal scorers and Morris for Luton Town. Let's see how your prediction goes. So as always, guys, take care, stay safe, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.